Okay, an IRA is essentially an individual retirement account. There's a number of different types of IRAs, but the history of IRAs are pretty interesting. An IRA was developed by Congress as a way to incentivize people to save. The whole key of an individual retirement account is that we as Americans are in a private retirement system. The government doesn't save for us. Unlike some countries in Europe where you put in money when you work into a public pension system and they invest it for you into their treasuries or other types of investments. And then when you retire, you have that money to live off. Here, it's all up to us. The government will give us Social Security. We have Medicaid, we have a welfare, we have some social network or social welfare system. But if you want to retire, it's up to you. So the whole concept of an IRA was to give people the ability to save. So IRAs were pretty much developed in ERISA Act in the early 70s, but it only really became popular after 1981, the Economic Recovery Tax Act, which increased the IRA contribution to $2,000 and basically opened up to everyone who worked, who had a job. So before 81, it was very limited in who take advantage of an IRA. So after 1981, it became open to most people, and it became the most popular way for people to save for a retirement account. It's over 50 million IRAs, over $8 trillion of wealth. It has the most, it's the most popular type of retirement savings account. Most of the IRA funds come in from rollovers from 401ks or 403s or 457s from other plans. So that's why all that wealth comes into the IRA. It's hard to build wealth. It's possible, obviously, you got to do it consistently, but most of the wealth from IRAs come in from rollovers, because in a 401k, for example, in 2018, you can put in $18,500 or $24,500 if you're over 50. An IRA, you can only put in $5,500 or $6,500. So you could build wealth in an IRA. I've seen it happen. I've seen people with millions in an IRA, but a lot of it is, some of it is built through the rollovers, because it could take 30, 40 years for your IRA on a couple $1,000s a year to get to $1 million. So rollovers is a key way of funding these IRAs. It's the most popular type of individual retirement account. There's IRAs, Roth IRAs were created in 1997, Senator Roth. And really the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, the traditional IRA, think of it as a pre-tax IRA. So what's the incentive? Why would you create an IRA? Obviously, your money grows without tax, so that's the tax deferral, which is a key component of an IRA. That's how Congress is incentivizing us. They're saying, okay, open this IRA because when you invest your IRA funds, it's going to grow without tax, which is super cool. And your money grows without tax. It's able to build wealth quicker than if it was subject to tax each year. Number two, you get a tax deduction when you put money into a pre-tax IRA. So it's like a double bonus. You get that tax deduction up front, reduces your tax liability, and your money grows without tax. The downside, when you take the money out, if you're under 59.5, 10% penalty in tax. Over 59.5, tax. At 70, you got to take in required minimum distributions, which is about 3 or 4% a year. So the IRS is encouraging you to save. They don't want you to pull this out prematurely, but they don't want you to use this as a generational wealth building strategy. We can just pass on tax deferred wealth forever. So once you hit 70.5, you got to kind of take some of this back into income. So it's a really popular vehicle, and before 1997, it was the only way to go. In 1997, the Roth IRA came into being. Senator Roth basically is a way, it's an after-tax IRA. So you don't get that tax deduction up front, but this is what I love. As long as you hold the Roth for 5 years, you're over 59.5 when you pull it out, it's all tax-free. You never pay tax again, which is beautiful. So I've put all my money in Roth IRAs. All my contributions are Roth IRAs. My kids, my wife. I'm a big Roth guy. I can live without a tax deduction now. Let's say my tax deduction is 35% on $5,500, whatever. So it saves me $1,000 this year. Okay, that's helpful. But I will take that $5,500 and I'll let it grow for 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe longer if I pass it a lot of my kids. Trust me, that $5,500 can be worth a few $100,000 in 50, 60 years. I'll be okay never paying tax on that. I'll live without that $1,000 deduction now, or the actual benefit of the $5,500 deduction. So that's my play. There's SEP IRAs, which are employer IRAs, simple IRAs, which I'll get into other videos, and you can check it out on the IRA Center. There's all kinds of videos on the different forms of IRAs out there. But I wanted to get into the basics of the traditional and Roth, talk about the difference in pre-tax, after-tax. The Roth IRA, again, it's tax-free, no RMDs, no distribution taxes. If you're 59 and a half in 5 years, you get to take into account the power of tax-free investing, not just deferral. Better than deferral, no tax ever. That's the home run, a grand slam. The deferral is the home run. This is the grand slam. This is what gets you into the Hall of Fame, I think. So that's the beauty of the Roth. The history is there to show us that the IRS is encouraging and Congress is encouraging us to grow our retirement money, save. It's up to us to save. If you don't save, you're going to be relying on the state and government to take care of you when you're older. Now, you may have personal savings. That's great. You'll also have Social Security. But imagine if you had all this tax-free or tax-deferred wealth. That would make your retirement years that much more enjoyable, give you security. You don't have to deal with the prospect of financial chaos or working until you're 90 years old. So that's what an IRA is. It's there to help us all. It's a golden ticket. It's something that actually works. I mean, you can say what you want about the medical, Obamacare, or different, Republican, Democrat views. This works. In fact, President Bush, the second Bush, wanted to use the whole concept of IRAs, kind of like an HSA, health savings account, to fund medical benefits, which I think would be a really good idea. It would probably help a lot of people, trying to create a tax deferral play on that. That may end up happening at some point. But if you take the idea of tax deferral and mesh it with the ability of getting a deduction, or the Roth and tax-free investing, it's a magic combination that really attracts a lot of excitement, and it's really the best legal tax shelter out there. So I hope more people, if you don't have IRAs, go open one, learn more about them. You're on the right place. Check out the IRA Center for more videos, but it's important you know the foundation of what an IRA is.